Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Ruben Outdoors. Today I'm gonna do a walkthrough of my new kayak, Stealth Fusion 480. So I have not taken this out on the water yet, just because I don't have a GoPro mount. I wanted to film myself taking this out on the water for the first time. So I'm waiting on getting a GoPro mount installed first, and they finally came in. So I got a couple of Kayak Mighty mount and a Kayak GoPro mount and a Kayak fish finder mount. So I'll be installing these, and I'll bring you guys along when I do install them. So stay tuned for that. And I also picked up a new paddle. So I got me a carbon wing paddle. Never used the wing paddle before, but I got it just to try out to see if I like it. Typically, a lot of people with Stealth uses a wing paddle. So if you look at the blade, it's kind of unique, a little different. It's cupped right here, and I'll let you guys know how this works out too when I get this out on the water. So let's go over some specs of this kayak. The model is Fusion 480. 480 is basically the length of the kayak, 480 centimeters, which translates to 15.548 feet, so pretty much 15 3/4. The width of the kayak is 26.7, which makes this the second widest fishing kayak from Stealth, and it's got a maximum angular weight of 287 and a maximum capacity of 485, and they rate this kayak as 10 out of 10 stability, 6 out of 10 speed, 5 out of 10 glide, 8 out of 10 maneuverability, and 7 out of 10 surf ability. Since this is a plastic, it's not going to be as fast as the fiberglass kayak, obviously, and it's not going to glide as well as a fiberglass kayak. But I am pretty sure that this kayak is going to be the fastest plastic fishing kayak out on the market right now. We're going to do a walkthrough starting from the bow of the kayak. So if you look at the bow, it's got really sharp bow. Look at that, very sharp, and this is gonna cut through the water really well. And on this one, it's got one drain plug, which drains pretty much everything inside the hull. Their fiberglass version, Fisher and Pro Fisher, they actually have a separate fish hatch, but this one doesn't. This one pretty much uses the whole space as a fish hatch. So we got one drain plug here, and we got a one really nice handle, sturdy handle here. And over here you have a little bungee which holds the paddle. And I don't know if you guys can tell, there's a vinyl sticker on this section. So when you shove the paddle, the plastic doesn't get stretched. You can hold the paddle like that when you are fighting a fish or taking care of other businesses. And over here you have a little webbing handle. This handle is to grab onto the kayak and drag it on the sand when you're launching or when you're landing. And over here you have your footrest, and that controls the water. You go left, you go right, and you can see there's many different notch positions that you can adjust your position of the footrest. I'm currently at the second from the seat. Feels pretty comfortable for me. And you control left to right like that. And the main feature of this kayak is this fish hatch. This was one of the selling points for me to get the Fusion 480. When you open this up, you have so much space in there. Like I said before, this one does not have the separate fish hatch. This pretty much uses the whole space inside, as you can see. And the gray stuff here is actually a really hard foam, which does not absorb water, obviously, and it adds the rigidity to the kayak, strength, and the buoyancy as well. So you have a huge space inside to store pretty much all your fishing gear. So you can put your rod in here. This is a 7-foot rod. It looks like it's gonna fit at least a 7.5 feet rod. You can put your gaff in there, and you can even put a second paddle in there just to have it as a backup. And all the fish you catch can go in there. The fiberglass version, they have a little loop that you can tie stuff onto, so your fishing gear doesn't slide all the way to the front, but this one doesn't. So I'll have to somehow attach a loop here so tackle box doesn't slide all the way forward. So this fish hatch is great because you can store pretty much all your gear inside the hull when you are surf launching, and especially when you are surf landing. Even if you flip, you're not going to lose any gear. There's no leash or anything that can get tangled up on you, so everything stays in here when you're surf landing and launching. And then this strap right here, I never seen this this type of system before, but this one works really good. And you cinch it down just by clicking on that little tab there. Again, this is solid. This is not coming off at all. And this right here is one of the newer features of Stealth Kayak. It's got a built-in bait well. Let me bring you closer. So you got a pretty good size well in there. Right in here, that's your intake and that's your outtake. And I'll show you how that works once I flip the kayak over. So I always use the bait bucket or bait tube, which works, but it's not the best because you have to dip it in the water every 5 to 10 minutes. And when you are moving, it causes a lot of drag. So I didn't really like using live bait too much because of that reason. It was a lot of work, but since I have a built-in live well where the water gets circulated automatically when you move forward, I think I'll probably use the live bait more now than ever before. And here we got the webbing side handle here on both sides. And here's your sitting area. Unlike the fiberglass version, this one actually has a drain, so your butt doesn't have to stay wet all times, which is great. And the contour of this seat right here, I heard this is actually pretty comfortable because it's not flat. It's kind of contour to your butt. So I'm going to give it a try without adding a padding or adding an extra backrest. See how this feels. So, and if it's not comfortable for me, I can always add a padding or backrest or one of those clip-on seat to make it more comfortable. So right behind the seat, we got 4 rod holders. These 2 in the back is basically a vertical rod holder where you can store your rods. And there's a little pedal here. You can attach your rod leash to it. And now you got 2 rod holders here. This is what they call the trolling rod holder. The rod goes out and behind you a little bit. And over here is a dry hatch. You got a pretty good space over here, whatever you want to keep dry. I'd probably put snacks and maybe some tackles back in here as well. My extra radio, my first aid kit, etc. So I'm gonna store them back here. So back here you can see a little area that is square. This is where you can put your milk crate or just various items, dry bag with other goodies, etc. And this is a little rudder hatch. You can access your rudder, install and uninstall your rudder. If you watch the unwrapping of this kayak, Ruben shows how to install the rudder back here. So check that out if you want to see that part. And we got the rudder down here. Like I said before, control with your feet. And let me turn that rudder for you. And back here you get the solid grip as well. And if you look at the stern end of the kayak, you can see how sharp it is back here too. From my experience, when you're coming in from the surf, when the wave hits you in the back, the wider it is, you're more likely to get turned. So having a sharp stern like this helps the kayak move just forward instead of getting turned on the side. Right over here, you have an option to install a kick-up rudder instead of having a rudder down here. Even after many years of Stealth having the rudder down here, nobody really had any issues with it. So I might try it when it comes out if I do have a issue with the rudder being down here. So I'm gonna flip this over and show you the hull of the kayak. So I forgot to mention the weight of this kayak. On paper it says it weighs 72 pounds, and it's pretty accurate because my Revolution 13 weighs about 70 and feels pretty much the same as my Revo 13. So if you look at the hull, it's pretty much flat with the rounded edges, and you have these four channels down there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 scuppers for the footwell. And as you can see, we have a little recess transducer area. Simply you unscrew this out and install your transducer here and through the scupper hole. And back here you got, this is your seat drain. As the kayak moves forward, the rudder runs through the channel and sucks the water right out. And this is the bait well. As you can see, this is the intake and this is the outtake. When the kayak is moving forward, rudder runs through the channel and pushes the water inside the bait well. And as the kayak moves forward, water travels through the channel and sucks the water out of the bait well. So if you have any questions about this kayak, please comment down below. If you want to acquire any information of Stealth Kayak in general, please email Ruben. I'll put his email address in description. He's one of the very few Stealth dealer in the United States. He'll be more than happy to help you out. And if you want to purchase a Stealth kayak, any model, you can always make a pre-order with Ruben. After I mount my GoPro camera mount, and I'm gonna take this out on the water and I'll show how this guy handles on the water. And when I do that, I also will explain why I decided to buy a Fusion 480 when I already have Hobie Revo 13 and when I already have a good paddling kayak as well. I'll get into that when I take this kayak out on the water. Like I said before, this might be the fastest plastic fishing kayak out on the market right now. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more and go outside and enjoy the outdoors.